Hello everyone, today we'll be presenting about Walmart's employee turnover and retention. So on to the background overview of the organization. Walmart is an American retailer that supplies a diverse range of goods through its various stores across the world and in the US. It is the largest retailer and the largest company with 2.3 million employees. As employees are assets to any organization, in the case of Walmart, they are even more important. So our aim is to identify factors that lead to employee turnover and figure solutions for retention. In order to better understand the situation, a literature review was drawn on the topic. Organizations have been collecting data about employee turnover since it was first mentioned a century ago in the American Economic Review. In some studies, researchers classify data from data mining according to demographics to conduct tests on predicting turnover rates. Predictive analysis were also used to prepare for turnover, such as Monte Carlo simulation using law of large numbers. Past studies on prescriptive data analysis from results of linear regression reveal correlation between employee dissatisfaction and turnover. As mentioned, employee turnover can kill a business by negatively impacting the performance and service while increasing costs.
For methodology, we collect the data by online survey. Overall, 135 questionnaires were received. We use 5-point Likert scales ranging from 1 strongly disagree to 5 strongly agree. The data collection was done through non-probability sampling.
We also do data processing as well. For example, we convert categorical data, like working started, into binary numbers. Same for gender, male, female, into 1 and 0. We also convert text answers into numbers.
For the next descriptive analysis, we found that the respondents are mostly female, while the age is mostly 25 to 34, mostly still working at Walmart, and have 2 until 7 years of experience. Most of the respondents dissatisfied with their job at Walmart, but most employees still want to work there. The reason they want to keep the job is mostly because it's a safe choice, while the reason why they have quit the job is because dissatisfied with the management. Then we use the descriptive analysis in Excel for each variables. Regarding the task performance, the mean values are between 2.87 to 3.27. The mean of the contextual performance are 2.44 to 3.96. The mean of the adaptive performance are 2.38 to 3.48. And the mean values of the counterproductive work behavior are 2.26 to 3.15. All of the standard deviation are lower than the mean value. From the survey, we found out that the average mean values of task performance and contextual performance are lower than 3, while adaptive performance and counterproductive work behavior average mean values are higher than 3. We also found out that respondents with a low job performance and respondents who are still working for a year or less are more likely to quit the job.
Hi, I will present to you the Monte Carlo simulation that we used to predict employee turnover in Walmart, and we conducted 6 steps in this analysis. In step 1, we sort the raw employee response data. The data we use is the level of worker satisfaction for the last 3 months and the foreseeable commitment. Sorting is done using a pivot table to produce the following table. Of 135 respondents, we found that 80 respondents are still working at the Walmart. Then, in step 2, the result of the pivot table were made into 2 tables, namely the tables of cumulative distribution of employee satisfaction level from 1 to 5, and the table of employees' foreseeable commitment at each of the level satisfaction. In step 3, we made a table to randomize 90 trials. The satisfaction level is obtained from the random number generator, a formula function in the cumulative probability table. You can stop here in the percentage or whether they are really quit or not, and then find the average intention or the average who wants to quit. Both will show the similar data. After we found the average of 90 trials, we create 500 iteration table and then click data menu, click what if analysis, and then let Excel finish the 500 simulation. After the simulation is complete, we found that the mean of 500 iteration in people intention to quit is 38.99%. And the standard deviation is 4.13. And this lower table is the simulation result if we use the random response result that quit or keep working. From Monte Carlo simulation, we found that 38.99% of total employees in Walmart wants to quit. If we use 95% confidence interval, the result will be range from 26.9 to 51.1%. And the next prescriptive
After Monte Carlo, we go deeper to examine the relationship between employees' age, the gender, how long they work for Walmart, the job satisfaction level, and the decision to quit. To do so, we analyze our data using logistic regression tool. Logistic regression was chosen because it deals with binary variable, which is the output, the decision to quit, much better than linear regression. We also choose best subset to make sure that we has the best answer. Subset number 15 here was chosen because it has the lowest difference between mallosis CP and the number coefficient. And from this page, we got the result for coefficient. Putting the results into formula, and we got this one. The gist of it is that, on average, holding all other constant, an employee is more likely to quit if they're older, is female, but is less likely to quit if they have worked longer for 1 month or they have higher job satisfaction level. From predictive analysis using Monte Carlo simulation and logistic regression, we learned that satisfaction is one of the major factors that influence employees' decision to quit. From descriptive analytics, we also learned that employees' job satisfaction is influenced by the salary, the management team, career prospect, and work culture. We first determine the relationship between them by running our data through a linear regression tool, and we got the result here. And by making a few assumptions on the cost to improve each of the factors, we formulate our linear programming model as follows. So these are variables. This is the objective function, which is to minimize the cost to improve the factors. And if you constrain, we get the results by running a data server. From the results that we get, it appears that the total cost is smaller than the cost saving afforded by the lower turnover rate. So it is suggested from this result that Walmart should keep employees a raise, improve management team, improve their career prospect, and improve the work culture. So this result, however, was only obtained after the submission.
For time purposes, I will be limiting the discussion to 2 strengths, 2 limitations, and 2 recommendations. The first strength of our report is in solving a real problem. Churn has been a well-known issue within the industry for a long time and costs a significant amount of money to offset. Our survey results, in fact, suggested that 38.99% of current employees intend to quit in the foreseeable future. Such a churn rate is not sustainable, and reducing it will save the company a substantial amount of money. Thus, this report will be solving a real-world problem. The second strength of our model is in the simplicity of acquiring responses to analyze, as the survey we have conducted is designed in a manner that is quick to complete and ensures anonymity. Everyone knows the feeling of being told to complete a survey. You usually can't be bothered, but if they tell you it will only take 2 minutes, you're more likely to at least consider it. Now on to our limitations. The report's recommendations can be considered accurate given the fair number of responses we received, meaning that even with more data, the same recommendation will likely be made. It is important, however, to keep in mind that a larger data pool is desirable, as the precise percentages that we offer in our report will likely differ with a large data pool. Thus, a lack of data is a limitation of our report. A second limitation comes in the nature of surveying individuals about themselves. One of the data points in our analysis refers to the correlation of satisfaction to performance, an important point that seems self-explanatory in its correlation. However, it is important to keep in mind that individuals are likely to rate their own performances higher than others would. Thus, this is another limitation of our report, though this point is largely mitigated by performance ratings being relative to each other rather than a concrete point. From our findings, we would recommend the following to Walmart. Perform this analysis on their own using data acquired internally. As one of the limitations of this report was access to data, if Walmart were to perform this analysis on their own by surveying past and present employees, Walmart would be able to receive more accurate information to develop future plans on. This would also remove the limitation of our report in its lack of data. Secondly, we would highly recommend Walmart work to improve the level of employee satisfaction via means of improved salary and work-life balance, as well as other means. Though this would at face value increase the costs of the company, decreasing the level of churn will more likely actually decrease costs, as the company can reduce costs associated with rehiring and human resources. In conclusion, this report has designed a model that can identify the factors that cause high employee turnover rates and has produced recommendations to combat this. This was done by modeling survey results through descriptive, prescriptive, and predictive models to take the current data and forecast future trends in its turnover rates.
This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening. If you have any question, feel free to ask.